So we are meeting after a long time. One of the things I wanted to do when we started Hok Aloron or Artist 7, we started to do is an open space for discussion. We wanted to have an open space where you can share your opinions, you can share your work, you can share discussions regarding your work, you can share your motivation, you can share your, what you are trying to do regarding creativity and innovation, the way you look at things, the way you want to represent your art, the way you want to convey something through your art. You may convey it verbally or you may convey it through your artwork itself, and then we can have a discussion, and for appreciation too. Many people are not creating their artworks, many people are not creating their movies, but they have a great sense of appreciation. So what they are doing is they are going to exhibitions, they are looking at artworks, they are looking at different movies from all the corners of the world, and of different languages, but we have a shared experience, that humanity, that human connection, and we have empathy towards each other. We can feel more, and we can have more consideration towards relationship, if I say so. Like it doesn't matter where you come from, but just because you are a human being, as a human being, and not just any kind of human being, you have artistic inclination, you are a good human being, you have your soul, you put your heart and soul in your work, you want to convey something, maybe you are not there yet, but you are continuously working on that, you are work in progress, you are and many of us, we are work in progress, but sometimes you think that you are taking different risks, you are taking different chances, you are going for exploration. Maybe you have tackled one kind of genre, or maybe a mix of genres, then you are venturing into something new. Maybe you have done a thriller, then you are going to comedy. Maybe whatever you are doing, that's a mix of comedy and thriller, because I don't want to classify, I don't want to do that division. What we are talking about is storytelling, irrespective of the genre. Storytelling, the dramatic effect, the dramatic intensity, the momentum you have to tell a story, the momentum you have to make a movie, and then a space for discussion where you can share your opinions. It's not like this is good or this is bad. You have a perspective. Maybe you want to tell a story, maybe you want to make a documentary. It can be subjective, it can be objective, it can be somewhere in the middle, and it can be through the camera work, it can be through the way you are telling the story, it can be with the way you are doing the characterization, So many ways we can tell a story. The way we can structure the story, it can be linear, it can be non-linear. Sometimes you can plan it in a linear way, then maybe in the editing table you are figuring out non-linear will be the best way to tell that story. Sometimes you are planning it from the beginning itself, that you want to tell it in a non-linear fashion, So different ways you can tell a story, but ultimately we are talking about storytelling, because as an audience, that emotional impact you are trying to have after you are leaving the theater, after leaving the movie, you are having an experience, It can be an elated experience. Maybe you are thrilled, maybe you are at the edge of your seat during the movie, and sometimes after the movie itself. Sometimes it's a resolution, sometimes you are still asking the questions, what happened at the end? Did I really get it? And am I right about the ending, or this is something else? That can spark another discussion. Sometimes what happens in the festivals, or sometimes when you have the collective experience of watching a movie. That's why I emphasize a lot on the theatrical experience. When you watch a movie, go to the theater and have that experience, because the collective experience is something that is very special to the movies. You can have it in the theaters, you can have it in a circus, you can have it in a magic show, you can have it in an opera, you can have it in Broadway, you can have all these things. But that screen, the screen, it goes dark and the screen is lit and you are watching a movie. You as an audience, an individual human being, individual person in the audience, and you have people with you. Sometimes we go to watch a movie with our friends, with people we like, our relatives, and sometimes we make friends while watching the movie. Sometimes we make friends after the movie. So that collective experience, if you have understood, you can get what I am talking about. In festivals, the enthusiasm is more, the passion is more, because you are running to watch this movie, you are discussing before watching the movie, should I watch the movie, have you heard of this movie, who is the director, have you seen like any previous works of the director, what is his style, what kind of movies does he make, all those kinds of questions. Suddenly you figure out a new director, suddenly you figure out the kind of style you wanted to see, but you didn't know that you are going to see that particular style or that particular movie. So many different things can happen while watching the movie, before watching the movie, and after watching the movie. So in festivals we have that passion, enthusiasm. In theatrical experiences we can still have that, but when you are going to theater or you are going to the cinema hall, if I say so, to watch a particular movie, it is like you are going to see that particular movie. Now sometimes you are going to see that particular movie only, sometimes you are just wandering around, and that is the movie available, and you have to watch a movie, so you are going for that movie. So different kinds of experiences, but ultimately what we are talking about, that open space, that discussion for movies and appreciation for movies, and that respect towards the makers, the respect towards storytelling, the respect towards that collective experience, the respect towards that relationships we form during the movie, before the movie, after the movie. But we can talk about a lot of things, and we will talk about a lot of things, in terms of acting, in terms of fashion, in terms of storytelling, in terms of dance, in terms of, dramatic performances. We will talk about all those things. But sometimes when you introspect, you will see that these are very basic things we are talking about. But ultimately it comes down to that only, that zeal we have to tell a story, that zeal we have to watch a movie, the zeal we have to make a movie, and sometimes we will do it in a planned way, sometimes we will just have a discussion. But what I want to say is, when I do a live, I will tell you beforehand that I am going to do a live, on this date, this is the time we are going to do this live. You can join that live and you can ask your question, you can share your opinions, or maybe we can have a discussion where we are sharing different opinions. We can do that. Here we are not talking about excuses, blames or excuses, this is not there, that is not there, we are not doing it, we are not doing this, we could have done this, we should have done this. We are not talking about that. We have the space, we have created this space. If you are ready, if you are willing to do so, you can do that. Otherwise, and I thoroughly did something and I figured out, and I knew that before, just with a little bit of variations, that it is not for everyone. And I am not expecting this to be for everyone. Obviously, this is not for everyone. But what you should not deny, I would say, is the joy of storytelling. When you are watching a movie, when you are having that emotional impact, or you are feeling good. Let me just talk about feeling good. Don't deny that feeling good. Don't deny that impact of storytelling. Don't deny that emotional impact, because that's a very basic thing that can seem like a very basic thing. But you will see, after all these things, during the entire process of making a movie, showing it to a screen, watching the movie, discussing, doing the question answer, whatever we do, we go for that emotional impact, right? And we cannot ignore that storytelling, because if you are ignoring storytelling, you are missing out a lot. While watching the movie, your love for movies, it will be something you take very casually. We are not talking about that. So when we talk about that serious thing about movies, your passion and enthusiasm, people who get it, they get it. But people who don't get it, many won't get it. But don't deny that emotional impact. Don't deny that love for storytelling and characters. And one thing you will expect to have, and I understand that is going to happen. I wanted to mention that a few months back, but I didn't. I just watched. But this is going to happen. That's like politics and storytelling. So you will see that many people are playing with a lot of ego and politics, and then sometimes that is hampering cinema, sometimes that is hampering art. So at least here, when we are talking about cinema, here we are not talking about others, we are talking about this place. Or when you talk to me, when you talk about cinema, politics is obviously like an inseparable part of art and cinema, right? But we don't do that dirty politics here, that just because of politics you are not respecting storytelling, you are not respecting a movie. Not that kind of politics, but you will see the pull happening, because that politics will interfere a lot with storytelling, especially if you see that the other things. Politics will interfere with the other things. But if I talk about the cinema itself, if I talk about the making of the movie, if I talk about the storytelling aspect of the movie, we are not playing those games, we are not playing those politics and all these things. So that educational thing we are respecting, that artistic expression we are respecting. If politics is a part of that, maybe you are learning that, but that is not taking your joy away from cinema. That is not taking your this passion away from cinema. That is what I am talking about. So make your movies, make your movies. Not everyone will be able to make your movies, but what I am emphasizing on is, you may start with your knack for movies, your admiration for movies, your love for movies, and you want to tell a story. One day you will figure out how to write a script, one day you will figure out how to write a story, and maybe you will pick up a camera and you will make a movie. So at least you will understand the craft of filmmaking. You have seen that we have done the division. We have done the division, we have done the discussion many times. So you will do the craft of filmmaking. Anyone can do that. You have a camera, you are talking about cinematography, you are doing cinematography. We can talk about the craft of cinematography. You are going to have that grid. This is how you are going to composing. You will talk, sometimes people will talk about, this rule, that rule, how you are going to compose. This is how it will look good. All the things you will study, all the things you will talk about. When you are making a movie, that's why practice is so important. When you practice a lot, it becomes a part of you. Or at least when you love the thing a lot, the performances, the cinematography, the photography, the visual aspects of it, the fashion aspects of it, and the wholesome aspects of it. When you really love it, you will see that sometimes you are doing many things naturally. You are trying to tell a story, you are feeling to write these scenes, you feel that you have to tell the scene in this way, you have to write the scene in this way, you have to guide actors in this way. So that's a big part of this job, that's a big part of this profession, right? So that human experience, I have talked about that, I have talked about life, and then how you are telling different stories. And when you are telling similar kind of stories, when you are telling, and then there we can have a discussion too. Many people are telling similar kind of stories in different ways with different actors, but we'll still enjoy that. So again, the thing you are putting behind the making of the movie, your appreciation, your rigor, your enthusiasm, your passion, and these are not words. That is what I want to say, because when you are truly loving it, because I have seen this. If I talk about passion, maybe what I think about passion is something very different from someone else who is thinking about passion, right? You can choose any topic. It can be for some people it's the scientific exploration, for some people it's the artistic exploration, whatever be the thing, you know. When I talk about passion for cinema, it can be something else. For someone else, it can be something else. But when you talk, when you discuss, when you share your opinions, when you share your enthusiasm for movies, you know, when you are willing to learn, when you are willing to listen, that's a big part too. Maybe one person knows about a particular thing, more than you do. So you are open to learn. You are open to criticize. You know, you are open to learn. You are open to share your opinions. So that kind of environment we can create. So we are learning from each other. We are learning from movies. We are learning from human experiences. We are learning from relationships. We are learning. You know, that's a great thing we do as human beings. We learn. We improve. You know, we work on ourselves. And during making the movie we can learn so much. After making the movie we can learn so much. The mistakes we make during making the movie we can learn so much. You know, before making the next movie we can learn so much. We can do our research. So learning is a big part of the job, and we cannot deny that, because when we denying that, we are denying a significant part of the process, right? Now whenever I talk about something, many people will criticize, and I have seen people who are willing to learn. They will ask the pertinent questions. They will ask the relevant questions. Sometimes they will ask here, maybe sometimes they will send me the questions. They will ask the relevant questions, and by looking at the questions I can get, and anyone will be able to get who is involved in this process, who has the experience, that person is willing to learn. That person can be naive, but there is, you know, that sense of curiosity, because he or she is trying to do something. He or she is trying to learn something. Figuring out, still maybe confused, but figuring out, you know, how to do this, how to do that. I love this, tell me why, and I have read about this topic, I want to explore this topic a bit more, maybe through movies, maybe through artworks, maybe through my own experiences or my own creations. So those things we can get, you know, through the questions. That kind of question is always welcome. Sometimes I will learn from you. And obviously through your curiosity I will learn a lot. Sometimes, you know, we become complacent. Sometimes we can become complacent, and that can become very boring. You understand what I'm talking about, you know? And filmmaking, it gives us an opportunity that we can learn so much. Maybe we are making a particular movie. Maybe we are making this kind of movie, or maybe of this genre, or maybe of a mix of these particular genres. We are not deliberately thinking about that, but maybe we are making a movie of this type or this thing, but we are not analyzing too much, you know. So again, we respect storytelling. When you do that, when you actually respect storytelling, you will see that many things will happen. You know, your love for movie making, your love for filmmaking, your love for cinema, these things will happen. And you learn from good movies, you learn from bad movies, and whether you should make the differentiation at all, you will figure out yourself, you know. Sometimes you will be saying those things, sometimes you won't be saying those things, sometimes people will try to confuse you, sometimes people will try to argue with these things, but you will take a stand. You will know, at least as a director or as a human being, this is the thing you want to do, this is the kind of movie you want to make, so you will take your stand. And a viewpoint, an opinion, you know, a perspective of your own, that is very important, because we need distinct voices. We need more distinct voices. We need more perspectives in filmmaking. That is one thing I can tell the youth. You can come up with your own perspective, you can come up with your own thing. Maybe today you are coming up with a naive idea, but 5 years, 10 years down the line, you will be able to make a movie out of it. So don't stop doing that. You know, respect your opinion, respect your perspective, respect your point of view, and know when you can learn. Be open to learn. That is one thing I will try to say. And this is a space open for discussion anytime. And we will continue to do a lot of things. So see you soon.